Dear students, today we will see representation of vector in three-dimensional system. For that, first of all, we must know how to represent the vector in two-dimensional system. Consider two-dimensional system. Any point P in the plane is represented as an order pair, suppose 3, 4, where 3 and 4 are distances of point P from x and y axis. Consider this x-axis, y-axis, and suppose this point 34 is located in first quadrant. What is mean by this x coordinate and y coordinate? If we draw the perpendicular from this point on y-axis, we get the distance 3, that is the x coordinate of the point. And if we draw the perpendicular from this point on x-axis, then we get this distance 4, which is y coordinate of the point. Now, if I and j are unit vectors along x and y axis, then this point or this vector OP, if this is origin and if this point is P, join this OP, then this vector OP bar can be written as 3i plus 4j. Here, I and j are unit vectors along x and y axis, and this is vector OP. Now, let's see three-dimensional coordinate system. To locate a point in a space, we require three numbers and we need three coordinate axes, that is this axis OX, OY and OZ. We represent any point in a space by order triple XYZ of real numbers. Here O is origin and three lines directed through O are perpendicular to each other, which are coordinate axis. That is, this axis OX, OY and OZ are perpendicular to each other at origin. Okay. In this way, you can locate the point P, X, Y, Z in the space where X, Y, Z are real numbers. Now, see here, we label this axis as X, Y, Z axis. The direction of this z-axis is determined by a right hand rule. That is, when you hold your right hand so that the fingers curls from the positive x-axis towards y-axis and your thumb points along the z-axis as shown in the figure. The direction of z-axis is determined by right hand rule. That is, when you hold your right hand so that the fingers curls from the positive x-axis toward y-axis and your thumb points along the positive z-axis. This is called right hand rule. You hold your right hand so that fingers curls from positive x-axis to positive y-axis and your thumb point out positive z-axis. This is called right hand rule. Now we will see the coordinates of point in a space. Let P be any point in the space. Draw perpendiculars PL, PM and PN through point P to the XY plane, YZ plane and ZX plane respectively. Now, for this point P, X, Y, Z, what are these X, Y, Z? These X, Y, Z are X coordinate, Y coordinate and Z coordinate of that point P. Okay, means you take point P in the space. From that point P, you draw perpendiculars PL, PM and PN through point P in the XY plane, in the YZ plane and in ZX plane. Okay, then this distance XYZ is nothing but X coordinate, Y coordinate and Z coordinate of that point. Now, coordinates of point on coordinate axis means if point lie on X axis, suppose this point A lies on X axis, then its Y and Z coordinate will be 0. If point lies on Y axis, consider this point B, it lies on y-axis, then its x and z coordinate will be 0. And if point C suppose lies on z-axis, then its x and y coordinate will be 0. As we have considered in two-dimensional system, if point is on x-axis, its y coordinate is 0, and if point is on y-axis, its x coordinate is 0. Similarly, here, if point A is on x-axis, its y and z coordinate will be 0. If point B lies on y-axis, its x and z coordinate will be 0. And if point C lies on z-axis, its x and y coordinate will be 0. Okay. Now, coordinates of point on coordinate planes means if point lie in the plane, what will be its coordinates? Suppose this point L lies in xy plane. See, this is xy plane and point L lies in xy plane. If point lies in xy plane, its z coordinate will be 0. And if point lies in yz plane, suppose this point M, it lies in yz plane, therefore its x coordinate will be 0. And consider the next point, suppose this point N lies in xz plane. This point N lies in xz plane, therefore its y coordinate will be 0. In this way, if point lies on axis or in the plane, we are able to find its coordinates. Okay, then we will see basic vectors. See components of vector. Take the point A100, B010 and C001 on xy and z axis respectively. Okay, let this A100, B010 and C001 lies on x, y and z axis respectively. Now what will be the magnitude of OA, OB and OC? If we take magnitude of OA, OB and OC, that will be 1. The vectors OA, OB, OC, each having magnitude 1, are called unit vectors along xy and z axis respectively. These unit vectors are denoted by IJK respectively and also called standard basic vectors or standard unit vectors. Okay. Now, any vector along x-axis is scalar multiple of unit vector I, and along y-axis is scalar multiple of j, and if it is along z-axis, then it is scalar multiple of k. Means if any point is along x-axis, it is scalar multiple of I. If it is on y-axis, then it is scalar multiple of j, and if it is along z-axis, then it is scalar multiple of k. Okay. In this way, unit vectors along x, y, and z axis are denoted by IJK in three-dimensional system. Let's see the theorem. If A bar, B bar, C bar are three non-coplanar vectors, then any vector R bar in the space can be uniquely expressed as a linear combination of A bar, B bar, and C bar. Now read the carefully statement of theorem. Here A bar, B bar, C bar are non-coplanar vectors. Then any vector R bar in the space can be uniquely expressed as linear combination of these three vectors. Let's see the proof. Let capital A be any point in the space. Take vectors A bar, B bar, C bar, R bar so that A becomes their initial point. See the diagram here. A is any point in the space, then A bar, B bar, C bar and this R bar are vectors such that A is their initial point. See for vector A bar, A is initial point. For the vector B bar also, B is initial point. For this vector R bar, this A is initial point, and for the vector C bar also, A have initial point. Means A is their common initial point. Now let this distance AP bar is equal to R bar. See the diagram, this distance AP bar is denoted by R bar. Okay, as these vectors A bar, B bar, C bar are non-coplanar, they determine three distinct planes. See, A bar and B bar determine this plane, B bar and C bar this plane, and C bar and A bar will determine this plane. In this way, as these three vectors A bar, B bar, and C bar are non-coplanar, they determine three distinct planes. Okay, through point P, we will draw a plane parallel to the plane formed by these two vectors B and C. Now, this plane intersect the line containing A bar at point B. This plane, we have drawn the plane parallel to the plane of vector B bar and C bar through point P, and that plane intersect this vector A bar at point B. Similarly, we will draw the planes and complete the parallel pipe. Means from this point P, we are drawing three planes parallel to the planes of A bar, B bar, B bar, C bar and C bar, A bar. And parallel pipe is completed. Parallel pipe have six faces, as cube have six faces, but faces of cube are squares, and here faces of parallel pipe are parallelograms. You remember that. Now, see from the figure, AB bar and this A bar are collinear vectors. They are along the same line. Therefore, AB bar and A bar are collinear vectors. And according to definition of collinear vectors, there exists scalar x such that AB bar can be written as x times A bar. Similarly, see here, AQ bar and B bar are collinear vectors. AQ bar and B bar are collinear vectors. Therefore, there exists scalar y such that AQ bar can be written as y times B bar. And see here, AS and C bar are collinear vectors. Therefore, AS can be written as Z times C bar by the definition of collinear vectors for some scalars y and z. Are you getting my point? Here, AB bar and A bar are collinear, AQ bar and B bar are collinear, and AS and C bar are collinear. Therefore, there exists scalars x, y, z such that AB bar can be written as x times A bar, AQ bar can be written as y times B bar, and AS bar can be written as z times C bar, where x, y, z are scalars. Now, by triangle law of addition, consider this triangle ACP. Consider this triangle ACP. By triangle of addition, this AP bar can be written as AC plus CP. See the diagram. This AP bar can be written as AC plus CP by triangle law of addition. Now see again. Consider this triangle ABC. In this triangle, this AC can be written as AB plus BC by triangle of addition. Again, this AC bar can be written as AB plus BC. Therefore, here replace this AC by AB plus BC. Now see here again and open the bracket. Write down AB as it is. But see here BC and AQ. For this BC and AQ, here these are opposite sides of parallelogram, and we know that opposite sides of parallelogram have same magnitude, and here they have also same direction. Therefore, instead of BC you can write AQ. Consider this parallelogram ABCQ. Here BC and AQ are opposite sides of parallelogram. Therefore, they have same magnitude. Here direction is also same. Therefore, instead of BC, you can write down AQ bar. See here in the next step, instead of BC, you write down AQ. Now, see for this CP and AS. These are sides of parallelogram. Therefore, they have same magnitude and these two vectors have same direction. See this CP and AS. They have same magnitude because they are sides of parallelogram and they have same direction. Therefore, instead of CP, you can write down AS in the next step. Okay, for this CP, you write down AS and write down here reason, since AQ is equal to BC bar and AS is equal to CP bar. Now, just we have seen here what is AB bar? AB bar is XA bar. What is AQ bar? That is YB bar. And what is AS bar? That is ZC bar. And we have treated this AP bar as R bar. You put the value of AP bar R bar, AB bar XA bar, AQ bar YB bar, and value of AS bar ZC bar. In this way, we have shown that any vector R bar in the space can be expressed as a linear combination of A bar, B bar, and C bar. Let's see the uniqueness of theorem. Suppose this R bar is equal to X A bar plus Y B bar plus Z C bar can also be written as R bar is equal to X1 A bar plus Y1 B bar plus Z1 C bar for some scalars X1, Y1, Z1. Means this can be written as like this for some scalars X1, Y1, Z1. Now subtract one equation from the other, we will get X minus X1 A bar plus Y minus Y1 B bar plus Z minus Z1 C bar is equal to 0 bar. Now this equation shows that A bar, B bar, C bar can be written as linear combination of A bar, B bar, C bar. This equation shows that these three vectors A bar, B bar, C bar can be written in the linear combination of each other. Now What does this equation shows? From our theorem 3, if A bar, B bar, C bar are coplanar vectors, then they can be expressed as linear combination of each other. If A bar, B bar, C bar are coplanar vectors, then such type of linear combination exists. But this is contradiction because in our statement of theorem, it is given that A bar, B bar, C bar are non-coplanar vectors, means our supposition is wrong. What is our supposition? There exists another scalars x1, y1, z1 satisfying this linear combination. Means our supposition is wrong. Means this x minus x1, y minus y1 and z minus z1 must be equal to 0. And if we equate this 0, then we will get x is equal to x1, y is equal to y1, and z is equal to z1. Means this x, y, z are unique. There does not exist another scalar satisfying this linear combination. Okay, therefore r bar is equal to x a bar plus y b bar plus z c bar is unique equation. This proves the uniqueness of theorem. Okay. In this way, it is very simple. If you know the earlier theorems, statement of earlier theorems, then it is easy to prove the theorem. Okay, students, see you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.